Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I am the founder of the Marriage Foundation. We have a unique view of marriage, and it's unfortunate, but it's coming along. The world will come around to how we see things. The topic today is how to get your partner to trust you, but let's talk about marriage a little bit first, because most people don't understand it. And the reason they don't understand it is because they don't understand love. They don't understand unconditional love. In fact, if you're to Google what is love, you would find out that what people say is that love is an increased like. They don't see it for what it actually is. And you've had the experience of love, so you know that it's its own thing. It's unique. Saints throughout the world and throughout the centuries have called God love and love God. You've experienced it when you've gone to weddings and there's that moment of this, you just feel it. And the mind doesn't want to feel it. Why? And I'm getting to the topic this way, so stay with me. You see, we are a composite. The reason why the mind doesn't like pure love, and it doesn't, is because it scares it. We are souls. This is not a religious conversation, but we are. It's just the way it is. We're souls, and we have a body, and we have a mind. Now, the body is an animal body. It's biological. Doesn't mean we're animals, but our body is comprised of trillions of cells formed into an animal form. If not for us being souls inhabiting with the consciousness of ourselves as a self, we would be just like other animals. And what is the defining characteristic of all life? Self-preservation. Isn't it so? And the body, comprised of trillions of cells, is constantly telling the mind, take care of yourself. It's dangerous. Things are very dangerous in the world. And the mind is hearing from the body, you can't trust anybody. It's a fact. You can't trust love. That's how the mind sees it. And that's why, even at those moments when we feel love, we are not allowed to by the mind. And this is the big thing that is missing in the world. And it's no one's fault. The world is not as civilized as it thinks it is. We don't learn how to control, how to master our mind. So effectively, what then happens is our mind controls us. Our habits, our fears, our mistrusts, our lack of trust. So understand that the reason your partner does not trust you is not about you. The reason your partner doesn't trust you is because they have not learned, they have not begun to even notice that they should be managing their mind, learning how to master it, learning how to contain the instinctive reactions to things that create fear. And this is a responsibility that all of us have, including you. But we don't learn about this. And you know, if we want a healthy marriage, the truth is, what is a healthy marriage? A healthy marriage is one that is delivering the reason we got married. It's delivering happiness, and I don't mean occasionally, but constant happiness, day after day, ever increasing happiness. And a marriage that is healthy is delivering love. How? It's delivering love between two soulmates who have begun to learn how to control their mind so that their mind doesn't get in the way. So this is just one aspect that your partner doesn't trust you. This is just one aspect of getting along in a marriage, and an important one. But guess what? The fact that they don't trust you completely, because they trust you somewhat, it's their problem that you are making your problem. You don't depend upon their trust. You would just like to have it, right? If you're untrustworthy, wanting their trust is quite immoral. It's disingenuous. It's terrible. If you only have their limited trust, but you're trustworthy, it's really no skin off your back. The only problem that's arising from it is that it's bothering your self-view. Your ego is saying, hey, you're not trusted. We, the mind and the soul, we're not trusted. And what is the problem with that? You are making it a problem. You are reacting to that. And guess what happens when you do that with your spouse? When you say, oh, why don't you trust me? I'm trustworthy. What's your spouse going to do? This is simple. It's human nature. They're going to trust you less. Now, you may make the statement, I'm totally trustworthy. I don't care whether you trust me or not. That won't impact. And maybe you need to say that to yourself. I'm trustworthy. I'm not going to cheat on my spouse. I'm not going to cheat on my partner. There's no way. Not because of them, but because I don't do that. I don't steal. I don't care if you leave $1 million on the chair. I'll come find you to give you the money back. I don't care if you think I cheat. This should be what you say to yourself. I don't care. I don't cheat. I am trustworthy. That will take a lot of the charge out of the situation. Now, the right thing to get them to trust you, which is the question, is to not care. Be apathetic. Don't worry. Don't notice. No matter what they say to you, laugh it off. As soon as you put up a wall about this, you're creating more drama than their lack of trust for you can ever create. That's the truth. Well, how do you become more trustworthy? Because if there are signs of your not being trustworthy that they're picking up on, see that as a reminder that you can be more trustworthy, which means you can behave more morally. You can behave in ways that are exemplary, that are above reproach. And how do you do that? And that is really the question that you should be asking. How can I improve myself? How can I become a better person? Because a better person will help contribute to a better relationship. In a marriage, there's only two. And when you push yourself to improve yourself, to evolve as a human being, which is something we all should be doing, you're improving your marriage automatically. There's only two of you. Trust is not, as they say, an integral part of a relationship. The people who say that, I'm sure they believe it, I'm sure they're sincere, but it's not. What is integral is learning to behave from your heart. Learning to behave in a way that fills your marriage with the sweetness of love, so that both of you can swim in it. It also means learning how to behave in a marriage-minded way, where you eliminate all your criticisms, your complaints, your condemnations, your expectations. There's a science to marriage. I used to be a divorce mediator, and I saw really good people getting a divorce. Now, it's true it was over 20 years ago, but things have only worsened. People get a divorce at the drop of a hat. Why? They don't know how to be married. So when I shifted my practice, because I didn't have a background in Western psychology, I approached marriage from a more scientific point of view. I asked the question, why get married? Why get married at all? Not why do you marry this particular person? And the answer is so simple. It's because you want to be happy. It's because you want to express unconditional love in a protected environment. You have to learn how to do it. We're not taught. You know, everything that we do, we're educated about before we do it. Can you imagine getting on a 36-foot sailboat without ever learning how to sail a boat? You'd be lucky to get away, get out of the harbor, or get away from the dock, because it's sort of complex. You wouldn't even imagine trying. And yet, we get married with no education. Why? Well, we see everyone's married. Well, what about driving? Look at the education we get before we get our driver's license. We learn about the rules of the road. We learn about automobiles, trucks, and motorcycles, and what drinking will do. And fortunately, because everyone's learning, when we look around, people are driving pretty safely. Not with marriage. We don't have that luxury, because the world is evolving and it hasn't caught up to even what marriage is. Who defines marriage? You look it up. It's defined in the most mundane terms. They don't talk about love. They don't even talk about love. And when you get married, your whole life is based on loving another. It's remarkable. There's over a 50% divorce rate. It should be much higher, but people want to live a good life, a moral life, raise their children, so they don't. God bless those people. So, it's a very complex topic, because it's only a part of the whole. Learn the whole. Learn how to love unconditionally. Learn how to behave in ways that just blow your partner away with love, kindness, compassion, generosity. I founded the Marriage Foundation. My hope is that the teachings that I have developed spread, and it'll be well after I've passed away that it becomes part of common knowledge about marriage, but it'll get there. Meantime, you could subscribe to this channel so that you learn more about marriage. Get one of my books, peruse our website, there's articles, all kinds of ways to learn more about marriage. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and thank you for spending time with me. Like this video, leave a comment. Thank you, and God bless you. Take care.